welcome to the Marvelous Post-Blip Podcast, a podcast on all things Marvel and the Fangirl Zone. I'm Mischievous Dave.
I'm Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Today we're talking about episode 1 of Loki, titled Glorious Purpose. Episode was written by Michael Waldron and directed by Kate Herron.
Well done by both. Okay, initial reaction. Sean, what'd you think?
I liked it. I liked the mix of emotions that we had.
Yeah,
and I was questioning things right away, so that was right up my alley.
Okay, what do you got, Steve?
Amazing episode.
Just all downhill from here.
Yeah. Man, just so many questions. And like Sean said, so many emotions from the man himself and so many questions about the TVA. So
yeah.
Great start, though.
Yeah, I didn't know there was such a rich history behind the TVA, especially in the comics.
Right.
I was looking into it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was a DC
Oh, wait,
guy.
like it was something that wasn't just written for the show?
No.
Oh.
I had no idea.
Yeah, deep roots in the comics.
Yep.
I think the main thing we find out is that the TVA was created just to keep, what do they call themselves? The Time Lords or something?
That's what
That's
I'm
the other
gonna-
show.
Yeah. Timekeepers. They just did that for their own self-preservation. It's not evident in this show, but in the comics, that's what they did it for. Like, they get wiped out, so if they're going to protect the timeline, they're going to protect theirs.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I liked it too. I gave it like 4 out of 5 useless Infinity Stones. I was taken aback a bit by the serious tone. It was so deliberate, and I thought it was going to be like laugh-filled, but not the same Loki as the 2012 Loki, as some people refer to it. It's a little jarring. I thought his quick transformation near the end due to his psychoanalysis and his mea culpa was a little jarring. But 6 episodes, right? So they don't have time to stretch everything else. They got to keep the train rolling.
Right. Absolutely.
I was surprised it was as long as it was, too. Mostly because I didn't look it up beforehand. And I don't know, maybe because this crew here talks Mudhorn. And I was like, it's going to be like a 25-minute episode or something. And I was just expecting to be mad.
Yeah, when things started going on, I paused and like, how long is this? Oh,
yeah.
I was happy.
Yeah, me too. No problem.
Yeah, for an episode that had a lot of exposition, it was really well done.
Yeah, it was. Boy, they made good TV.
If only we can get all of Marvel in one place. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Eventually. All right, let's jump into our recap. Loki, the god of mischief, finds himself out of time and in an unusual place and forced, against his godly disposition, to cooperate with others. Well, we know how that usually works with Loki.
Yes, that is not his strong suit.
No, he tends to betray people he is helping.
Yes.
Maybe those people
this should
should
be
have tried
interesting.
disrobing him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I will tell you though, the Twitter memes from this,
Oh, yeah.
I'm Twitter and Facebook, I was like, okay, I can't believe they got so many out of one episode.
Yeah.
So I am giving kudos like left and right to those people because that was pretty funny.
Yes. Well, Loki opens on a familiar site for MCU fans, recapping the 2012 time travel sequence from Endgame that got us here in the first place. Now, added was a few extra Tom Hiddleston moments are spliced into the existing footage to show events entirely from Loki's point of view. The villain Steve Rogers' search and rescue gag is zoomed in, and there's a closer shot of Loki waving goodbye to Hulk in the elevator. That was awesome. As well as fresh reaction shot during the stark scuffle in the lobby.
Which I have to say, I love the fact that somebody pointed out if the Hulk didn't like the stairs, we wouldn't have gotten this Loki episode.
Yes.
Yes.
And after Loki evades capture by disappearing with the Tesseract in hand, he lands in the middle of the Mongolian desert. As some villagers look on, the trickster god attempts his old tricks, announcing he's here for a glorious purpose.
I love how he
Okay.
just stepped up on the highest rock.
Yes.
I thought that was great. And also, was he not aware of where he's traveling now? It just kind of go awry?
I don't know.
I would
it's
say
funny, he just got
so.
spit out of the sky and came crashing
Yeah,
to
that's
Earth.
why I'm like, wait, he's never done that before.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't know how to work a Tesseract.
Yeah, probably. But before he can go any further, several people outfitted in riot gear enter the scene, including Hunter B-15, played by Wanumi Mosaku. She identifies Loki as a variant and formally arrests him for crimes against the sacred timeline. Loki is just going, what the?
I know. He's the master of making faces.
Yes. And
he does have good faces that he's pulling in this,
He
too.
does.
Oh, yeah. He tries
I like
to...
how he shifts his eyes. You know,
Yes.
he'll look straight at you, right? Then back to the middle, then left, then back to the middle.
He tries to brush her aside, but gets hit so hard, he winds up
God.
feeling it at 1/16th speed.
That was hilarious.
Yes.
How'd they
And
do
just
that?
the way, I don't know. That was amazing with his face moving all crazy like that.
Wind tunnel face.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they did something like that.
Turned
to
a
his
giant
face, and then
pan
they
on him.
like turned it like super slow.
Right. It's out of the frying pan and into the fire for him as he gets captured once more, and the timeline is reset via a grenade emitting some purple element.
Purple rain.
Yeah.
On to the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority.
Yeah.
Boy, what do we used to call it? Geezer reference or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a geezer reference for that. The original Tennessee Valley Authority, I think, started in the 30s under broad government expansion
Yep.
and bureaucracy, just like we have in this current TVA.
Exactly.
How about that? Is that a reach? Too much of a reach?
Nope. It works for me.
Okay. So B-15, who I love already, takes
Yes.
Loki into the retro yet somehow futuristic decorated offices of the Time Variance Authority. She shoves him into an elevator where he is stripped of his Guardian vestments, given a prison uniform, and dropped to a series of offices. Hilarious.
Yeah. Now, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Did anybody happen to see that scroll that appeared when he was brought into the authority?
No.
Yeah, I think there was a scroll there.
Oh, you mean on the
passed.
building in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought, why such a futuristic society needs something like you'd see in Times Square?
Right.
So it's almost steampunk-like retro, the way they imagined it. My younger friends are always going, where's our flying cars?
Right.
You know, like my generation was supposed to make that. But it turned out we made the information or digital transformation. But these guys still imagine the future as massive cities. I don't get it.
Right. And it was
they
great
gotta
the
put
way
people somewhere.
they processed him because they just throw him into a place, the bottom drops out, and down he goes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to explain some stuff. I think Loki's face here was everybody anyway, because we're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I know I said that at least 5 times during the scene. What's going on?
We found out what fantastic shape Tom Hiddleston is in, too, when he
Yeah.
gets his brief naked appearance. Another great line was when he reaches the back with clothes on. He goes through the rigmarole of bureaucracy, signing off everything he's ever said, confirming he's not a robot or whining through a seemingly endless queue. And that was hilarious. The guy asked him to sign everything he said. He goes, what? And the sheet piece of paper
Yeah.
drops down just to...
I'm like, oh my God, it's not Matrix printer.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Like
So
they
as
are
Loki makes
definitely
his-
stuck
What?
in the back.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny. As Loki makes his way through the line, he and we receive some helpful exposition via the animated Miss Minutes, voiced by Tara Strong. Long ago, there was a multiversal war between multiple timelines, nearly destroying everything. The omniscient timekeepers, that's their name, not Time Lords, but I do like Time Lords,
Yes.
broke a peace by reorganizing everything into a single sacred timeline. And as I referred to earlier, they only did it to save their own behinds in
Yes.
time, at least the comic version. This big-faced trio were first introduced in the late 1970s, created from the sole remaining survivor of the previous universe destruction. The mysterious overlords perform much of the same function in the comics as they do in Loki, and possess virtually complete mastery over time. As
So
the
these
animated
guys are different from the Watchers?
The Watchers, you mean like the Watchmen?
But isn't there like a whole watch? The ones that like, I can't remember which, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy, when Stanley is like on the moon talking to the guys. Weren't they like a group that were like watching over timelines? and
Yeah.
stuff?
There seems to be multiple tiers to beings in Marvel.
Yeah.
They go up in tiers. I don't know if it ever ends, really. I bet these guys have a boss they don't know about. That would be ridiculous, but
Hey, we have the Eternals, so
right. Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that. As the animated exposition rambles on, Miss Minutes uses starting an uprising as an example of something the TVA might potentially frown upon. The corresponding image shows two armies clashing, with the blue folk on the left appearing to be Kree, and the force on the right possibly the Nova Corps. Based on the spiky ruins in the background, background, the battle's taking place on Thanos' home planet of Titan in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan confirmed the Kree and Nova Corps were at war for 1,000 years. So was the TVA somehow involved? Maybe.
Oh my God, I have to rewatch now because I didn't get any of that. Oh my God.
Yeah. All the, I don't know what to call them, gold miners of the internet have been digging deep.
Oh, yeah.
On this stuff.
Well, thank you, miners.
Yes. People who veer off the sacred timeline are known as variants and create a nexus event that would branch off and create new multiversal war. This word has cropped up several times in the MCU, first as an internet facility in Oslo, which is in the Avengers Age of Ultron, and then on an antidepressant drug during one of WandaVision's fake commercials. That was interesting.
Yes.
The latter was the most likely reference to the nexus of all realities from the Marvel comic, which is essentially a gateway between every possible timeline. The TVA's nexus events could take their name from the very same source, and it's up to the TVA to catch the variants and set the timeline back on its predetermined path. Now, Loki has no place in the timeline and will face a trial for his crimes against time. That made me a little sad. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my
See
God.
the end of Loki? Come on.
There's so much to unpack now.
I know.
Okay, again.
Wait till we get to the Joan of Arc stuff.
Right.
I can't believe I did not notice any of that. Although I will say, when all of a sudden it was like, welcome to the TVA, and you seen the thing start, I so wanted one of the, like, Captain America, so you're a variant, you know, to come on like they did.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second.
And wasn't the graphics for this animation just late 60s, early 70s?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm very familiar with that.
Me too.
It reminded of like, let's all go to the lobby.
Yes.
That's what I was totally seeing when this was going on. But I thought it fit perfect.
The set that they had for the TVA, it definitely fit the time period that they were trying to mimic.
And on top of everything, just the way that all the people working there, like how they look. Because, yeah, you know, at some point you're like, I hate this office. And just take a number. I don't care. Take a number.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love the attitude that they gave everybody on top of it. It's like, oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Even then and now, they dumb things down for you because you have to, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And thank you for everybody who caught names that I didn't catch, because we're going to cut to France in 1549 as Mobius M. Mobius. I did not know that name. Whoever was paying attention to credits, good job. And other TVA officers are investigating a dead body. There seems to be a time-hopping serial killer on the loose. Well, that sounds fun.
Yes.
Honestly, I had stopped. I'm like, wait a second. The only person we know that's been time-hopping is Steve, really. And it's like, hold on.
Right. This
I know
can't
he's
be.
not doing it. But Mobius interrogates a child, I wasn't quite sure if it was a girl or boy, who credits the killing to a devil-like figure, as he points to the stained glass window, which happened to have a picture of the devil. It's like, oh, okay. And Mobius happens to notice, it was weird. Mobius happens to notice that the kid's teeth are blue, which I didn't think it was a thing back then. So it's like, oh, what's doing this?
At first, I thought it was going to be something in particular to the time. I thought it was a little girl, I'd say. And I thought, oh, is that Joan of Arc? But no, This is 1549, and she was dead in 1431, so kind of missed that a little bit. So I looked up 1549 to see if there was anything to it, and I said, well, is it a reference to Flight 1549? That's the one that crashed into the Hudson River and everyone survived.
Right.
Because we didn't get an airplane reference later on. I'm like, could be a reach. It's also known as the year of the multi-headed monster. Named so because of all the rebellions that happened that year. And I'm like, oh, multi-headed monster. That's like, is that a reference to like Loki and all the different Lokis there's been?
Right.
And they're going to dig deeper into this too. I think we're going to get into it later. But I'm still wondering if that little girl was Joan of Arc. And my tinfoil hat theory is, since one of the wars that went on in 1549 was another war between England and France, I wonder if they keep bringing back Joan of Arc to grow up and settle these wars. Now that's a reach. What I wanted.
Yes.
That's an interesting thought. And I have to say, too, like, when he drew the little stick figure, I'm like, okay, why is he just drawing a stick figure on this? He had to tap on it, and it's, like, walking. I'm like, that's cool. I want one of those.
Right. That was a big jump in technology from what it appeared that they had. And it was like, huh?
Yeah, like, how did the kid not run off screaming? You know, devil!
I know. Or grab and run out the door. Mine. There was a stained glass window of Joan of Arc up there too that she walked by. So I had to look up what year she died.
Right.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I'd seen the double one. And then, of course, this is when I think everybody started tweeting. And this is what's hard because nobody's watching this at the same time. So when you look at Loki, hashtag Loki, there was so many questions of Mephisto. Because
I know
WandaVision dropped several hints that Marvel's own Satan could appear, which didn't happen. I don't know. Still wondering who Senior Scratchy is, but
yeah,
Senior Scratchy.
Loki does feel like it could be heading down the same vein, but by the end, I think that kind of took a turn.
Yeah, I think they're going to tease us with Mephisto in almost every series they do.
We'll have to watch in all the movies. It's like, is there some kind of reference now?
Right.
But it seems it could be a much simpler explanation than Mephisto, because Mobius comes up saying, well, we're actually chasing an alternate version of Loki. And it's highly likely the child has mistaken Loki's horned helmet for the demonic horns of how Lucifer is depicted. But wait, Lucifer is actually part of the DC universe, isn't he?
Right.
Damn, never mind. I was like, wait. The investigation is interrupted when he's suddenly told that Loki's been apprehended. Wow, did his face light up or what?
Big time.
So we're back at the TVA and Loki is facing his trial, which, oh my god, in front of Ravonna Renslayer, played by Gugu, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess up the name. Gugu Batha Ra.
Yep.
She apparently, Ravonna, that is, has made her debut in the 1965 Avengers issue. Any information on that, Dave? Because I do not have any information on comics. You only seem to have comic stuff.
DC Comics guy back then.
Apparently in the comic, Renslayer is a human from the far future, most often a villainous figure associated with King the Conqueror. Well, that's a little odd then, because she certainly doesn't seem that way, as she's a legal official sitting behind that desk.
I think she was a love interest to Kang the Conqueror.
Really?
That seems a little strange,
too. I felt like it was feeling that way with Mobius.
Right. And I saw several references to Kang as when we saw the 3 Time Lords depicted. A lot of people thought one of them was Kang.
Oh.
That was driving me nuts. I'm like, it looked familiar, and I kept trying to figure out why any of the faces looked familiar.
Right.
I don't have a clue. Nothing comes to mind, but it's just like, that just seems familiar to me for some reason.
Yeah. Well, there's speculation we might see Kang the Conqueror in this series.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, speculation.
Well, who's surprised that Loki, despite everything, was still being Loki?
Yes.
Marmy, smart aleck, trying to use his powers. Like, it's not working. Yeah. I love it though. At the one point, it's like, what's he trying to do? And the one guard's laughing. He's trying to use his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, this never happens to me, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, B-15 was awesome.
Oh god, yeah, it was just pretty funny. But it's like, listen, I know you're trying to tell me that I did something wrong, but you know what? If you want to talk about time travel, the Avengers did some stuff, and it's like, no, that was sanctioned. Like, ugh. He just see his face. Damn it. Now what? But I thought it was interesting because that kind of clears up all of the timeline problems, right?
Yep.
Including, and I still don't know how I feel about this, but including Steve Rogers' reunion with Peggy and Gamora from the past staying in the present. But I'm kind of feeling at this point when they explain this that old Steve was because of the TVA. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know if that will come about.
We'll see. I started thinking about Black Widow.
Right.
Are we going to bring her back?
I'm still questioning, because I'm going to see the movie, I'm still questioning if it's really, really her or if it was a scroll or something, but it's a whole different thing. It's not altering timeline that irks the TVA. Really?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it wasn't permissible. It's like, wait, is he supposed to fill out forms?
Right, yeah. I don't think we ever saw the Avengers filling out any forms before their
well, you know what, maybe
jumps.
Black Widow had been busy. She was doing paperwork for a few years. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty funny that Loki's like, damn it. Because as we're about to get judgment, Mobius interrupts. And it's like, how about I use him for our purposes and we'll see where this goes. And I love it because Loki's just like, the hell just happened? Because he looks just as confused as everybody else.
Yes.
But he was a little miffed, I guess, as they were walking over to Mobius's office because we see, I honestly felt it was very Doctor Who-ish with like planet that seemed to be all encapsulated because there's like flying cars and these buildings. And I felt like the buildings were like every which way, but maybe it was just looking at it and maybe my head was cocked. I don't know. But there was some great banter back and forth too. It's like, I will burn this place down. Like, well, I'll help you. Can you start with my desk and the paperwork over here? It's like, yeah, every person who works in an office ever.
Right.
That's how I was feeling.
It's funny that Loki looked at it and just thought it was unbelievable. It's like any, I don't know, not a subspecies, but or unintelligent species or less a species looks at something and says, well, that's magic.
Right.
It can't be.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had like flying, well, not cars, but it was like
Vehicles,
boats, basically, in Asgard.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why I was just saying, you know, like Loki's like, it's magic. You said there's no magic here. It's like, you literally had boats flying.
So we're going to get some putting Loki in his place as Loki is taken to Mobius's office where he continues to question everything about the TVA. Yeah, now while not strictly a Marvel reference, it is worth noting that Mobius is a big fan of an ice-cold Josta.
Yeah.
Now, most of our listeners probably might not be of the age to recognize this soda brand, but Josta is a genuine Pepsi product that was available in the late 90s before being discontinued. Like
oh my God, I thought it was a real thing, but I'm like, I thought I was misremembering.
You know, an early variety of energy drink. There's evidently a few perks to hunting down timeline criminals. He's probably got cases. In Mobius's case, this includes sugary contraband. Now, Mobius reveals he specializes in the pursuit of dangerous variants, which he notifies Loki that he is not one of them.
Yeah, after Loki cockily said, oh, like me? No, not like you.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't know, just remind me. He was going to be reset. Did we ever learn what a reset is? I know what pruning is. We've seen that. But what is a reset? Is he like reborn into something else?
I don't think so.
Or does he just go back to his timeline where he dies?
I thought it was putting him back at least in the point where he left and like wipe his memory of what's happening.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
But when they kept using those stick things, I'm like, people who were disintegrating. Things were disintegrating. Yeah. I'm like, maybe that's resetting.
I think that's a pruning. Oh. I mean, as opposed to, the timeline pruning. They can do people pruning too.
So he subjects Loki to a questionnaire where he digs into the trickster god's plans to take over the world. Loki reasons that choice breeds nothing but negativity. As he says, there's a fork in every road, but the wrong path is always taken. Especially by you.
About himself. Yeah. Like, have you realized that yourself there, Loki?
Yeah. His absolute rule, therefore, would have actually helped everyone by preventing them from making those decisions. And Mobius then warms up a hollow projector. If they had them in the 60s.
Right.
Which showcases a series of Loki's greatest hits from the Avengers. And Mobius points out how often he's lost and how his ideas of liberation come down to plain old murder.
That was interesting because I don't think I had realized it until they were pointing every one of those out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like, holy crap.
And he even questions Loki's title as the God of Mischief. However, Mobius does admire his ability to escape, and with that, we're taking into a story we have yet to see.
Something that Loki was not expecting. We're taken back to the 1960s as the short-haired Loki is flirting with a flight attendant on a plane going by the name of D.B. Cooper. I've tried that. Not the hijacking, but flirting with a flight attendant. I have the same luck as Loki, though.
Right.
After getting everyone to evacuate via a bomb threat, he escapes with a duffel bag full of cash jumping out in midair. More of an Easter egg is from a real story from Marvel lore. In 1971, as a yet unidentified man boarded a 727, held the aircraft ransom for $200,000, selling himself cheap.
Yeah.
Then parachuted out with the cash from Loki's hairstyle matching the real DB's Cooper artist impression to the smattering smattering of banknotes left behind, there's an impressive attention to detail in the scene. It was impressive because they could have easily gotten the plane wrong, but that was a 727. And they did have an exit ramp down the back then, which they had to fix and close on every single one of those 727s because they didn't want that happening again.
Right.
Oh my God, I had no idea
Geezer
about
reference.
all of that.
Oh yeah, geezer reference. That's what I'm good for.
Yes.
He gets pulled back to Asgard, and it turns out this is all part of a bet with Thor. Showing zero fear in the presence of Odin's son, Mobius accuses Loki of losing a lot and suggests the habit might be simply his nature. Ouch.
Ouch, yeah.
Apparently, Mobius isn't wrong. Loki found himself tasting defeat in Thor, the Avengers, Thor Ragnarok, and Avengers Infinity War, although not all of those have happened yet from this Loki's perspective. Hard way to learn.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for you guys, because it's been just bugging me, and the fact that you put Odin's son on here. They didn't call him Odin's son.
No,
they called him by
I
a
know.
different last name. And
Right.
why didn't he turn into his blue ice thingy self? I forget what they're called. Because, I mean, if it's supposed to strip him away of everything,
Right.
I don't know why it just kind of popped in my head.
I don't know. I thought of that too. It was a little strange. He's not Asgardian, really. But he does, I don't know, he showed him naked like a man. Woohoo! And, and then
Well, that's
eventually
what a whole lot of people were saying, Dave.
yeah. And
Yes.
then and what was it, Endgame? He gets his neck snapped like a human. And I'm just thinking,
Right.
I'm watching this, I'm thinking like, yeah, our Asgardians are human, and he always refers himself to as a god. But really, he's just a different type of being.
Right. That they adopted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. I'm just saying, how you gonna kill a god by snapping? If he was a god, you don't snap his neck.
Right.
Really?
Unless you're a god too, so.
That's what he told him. I never got that's what Loki was saying when Thanos snapped his neck.
Right.
That you'll never be a god. I always heard him say that. I should have put on closed captioning. Oh well. Loki warns his interviewer what happened to the last person who said that. Harking back to the Avengers, where a dying Phil Coulson bravely assured Loki that his superhero team would emerge victorious in the end. This, though, turns out to be the breaking point for Loki, who grows frustrated with Mobius' questioning. But all Mobius wants to know is why he does what he does. Yeah, this is a lot of tough love he's getting. When Loki responds, "My choices are my own," and refers to the TVA as a detour to his ascent, Mobius turns back to the projector. He shows him that the rest of his timeline would have looked like, including him indirectly causing the death of his stepmother Frigga in Thor: The Dark World. Mobius
Which
tells
tore
him,
him up.
Painful again.
yeah, I know. That was a surprise to see that look on his face, like, I killed my mother.
Yeah.
You don't often see him shaken, especially that shaken. So Mobius tells him he wasn't born to be king, but to cause pain and suffering and death so that others can be the best versions of themselves. Double ouch.
Yeah.
I know. That's my fate. The meeting is interrupted by B-15, who's also a vitamin, who pulls Mobius aside to chastise him for not resetting Loki. And by the time he returns, the trickster god is gone, living up to his mischievous scamp title. He finds front desk worker Casey, who is hilarious, played by Eugene Cordero Rutherford, threatening to get that Tesseract back. He's going to gut him like a fish. What?
What's a fish?
What's a fish? That's the part you're hung up on?
I
He
love
finds-
that Loki's like, wait, I have to explain what a fish is first?
Yeah.
How do you not know what a fish is?
I've lived here all my life.
Everything comes to a grinding halt when they argue over fish.
Yeah.
But he finds several confiscated items alongside, including a bounty of Infinity Stones. That really shook him, too.
Oh,
This makes him
yeah.
suddenly, like, what? He's stuck at your desk? Makes him suddenly realize that the greatest power in the universe lies not with Thanos, but with the TVA. Gulp.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, use
Yeah.
them for paperweights.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I think that was really important for Loki because it's like, oh crap, wait, this isn't fake. But then again, I mean, didn't they have a fake gauntlet with the Infinity Stones?
Fake, I have one in my house.
No, but they had it down in the vault in Asgard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it supposed to have gotten there after this at some point?
Where did he get the gauntlet? Yeah, I guess they kept the gauntlet, but the stones were deliberately scattered. What confused me is that I saw a flashback to, gosh, what was her name? Anyway, it's either from Endgame or the previous Avengers Infinity War, where she explained to Banner, time-traveling Banner, how the Infinity Stones keep the timeline straight.
Oh, the ancient one?
Yeah, the ancient one. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So that's their thinking, and that's what the stones are for, but actually it's all superseded by something else? What?
Can't
That's
wait to
really
find
weird.
this out.
Yeah, I know. That
I
was
feel like this has got to play in then with Doctor Strange.
Oh, absolutely.
oh, yes.
We're going going to have, what is it, the multiverse of madness. So it's like, they tie stuff together and just give you just enough to make you crazy and start going down those rabbit holes.
Yeah, figure out how they're going to get from point A to point B to make it all work. And it's never the way you think it might be.
No, not at all. Well, somebody needs an attitude adjustment, and that would be Loki. And at the moment when Loki finally gets the Tesseract, but doesn't seem to realize that's not going to help you at all.
Right.
Not yet. B-15 charges in, sending Loki back to Mobius's office. Mostly because he had grabbed the little thing that was porting him around.
Right.
She was ready to just poof.
Yeah, she was going to reset him, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't going to make it out of here. But he continues to watch some moments in his future quite tearfully, which actually I think surprised a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he again watches the moment where he sees Frigga. He sees the future death of Odin, the reconciliation with his brother in Ragnarok. And as he continues, there's some smirk, there's this and that until he sees his own death. And I think that is really the point where it's like, I am not a villain. I need to change my whole attitude because damn, because he had already allied with Thanos and it's like, oh wow, okay then. I think that's a really hard look at everything. And I mean, come on, if anybody's seen what he's seen, I think that would change everybody's attitude, right?
Oh, absolutely. Person you've decided to saddle up with is going to be the one that kills you. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, I guess you can't be too surprised. Not like Thanos is a great guy.
Right.
Yeah. Nutsack face.
Oh, yeah, you said that out loud.
I did. Not the first person to say it.
And at this moment, B-15 comes in as Loki is watching and just kind of chuckles, glorious purpose, before subverting this hunter and freeing himself by, this was great, somehow getting her controls to get his collar off, and he slaps it on her, and it's like, okay, I'm going to keep screwing with you. It's like back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's the god of mischief and mayhem right there.
Yes.
But he sends her away, who knows where, and he just stays there. He doesn't try to run. He doesn't try to do anything. And I think at this point, it's a big deal because it's like, all right, well, I'm just here. I know what happened. And all right, I guess I do have more purpose than I thought. And I thought that was a big look inside of himself. It's like, wow, okay. Because when Mobius does come in, he's like, I only hurt people because I have to, because it's part of the illusion from the weak to gain control. It's like, wow.
I know.
And when Mobius sits down, he admits, I can't offer you salvation, but I can offer you something better.
Wow.
There's a
I'll take that too.
Yeah. What's better than that?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like scratching my head. There's a variant that's been killing off TVA employees, and I want your help. Like, okay. And yeah, I'm going to really need your help because that variant, well, that's you. What?
Yeah. Hold on here.
I don't think that would be possible.
Now, I will tell you, though, I really wish they had shown not just the neck snap with him and Thanos, but when he says, brother, like, the sun will rise on us again.
Right.
Because I just felt like that was, like, super powerful. But still, just him realizing, okay, I got to do this because I can't go back. I was like, oh, I was tearing up. It was a little dusty.
Yeah.
But is it really? I really think that, if we have two Lokis now, they had to have captured the one that actually has escaped and is killing off the TVA employees at one point in time. And that's why that Loki is killing off TVA employees. And what's to say if our Loki doesn't see this as an opportunity to escape as well and do the same thing? We could end up with double trouble.
It would be an endless loop. Have you heard the theory about Miss Loki?
Oh, Lady Loki?
Yeah, Lady Loki.
I know Lady Loki is going to be here somewhere because I think they're going to show, I thought I had read this, I could be wrong, every variant of Loki, because they did in his file show that he was gender fluid.
Right.
Because he has been to so many different things.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, wasn't he a horse at one point? Like, I'm trying to explain this to Jason, my husband, and like, I'm like, yeah, at least I know one of his children is like a 8-legged horse or something. It's really confusing. confusing. And he's like, what? And I'm like trying to find it. He's like, why are you telling me this? Why are you stuck on the horse thing? I'm like, because it's weird. And Loki is, when I say gender fluid, it's because he's been everything.
Right.
Well, I hope it is Miss Loki or Lady Loki that's that cloaked figure
Right.
in the field there. That'd be great.
Yep.
I think that she was again, I wasn't doing Marvel in the 90s, was I? No, I wasn't. She was a big figure in the 90s comics for Marvel.
Yep. So with that, we cut to Oklahoma in 1858.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, what a grand time in the in the state. We see some TVA Minutemen find a weapon stuck in the ground that is not from 1858, and it happens to be from the early 31st century with the variant intending to get oil or something. So they see a mysterious hooded figure in the distance who sets fire to the oil around them.
That's probably not good.
No, they walked right into a massive trap. The Minutemen are burned alive as the figure grabs the resetting device. If this indeed is another Loki or another dangerous variant, the destruction they wield is over the seemingly godlike TVA immediately sets up the stakes for what's to come.
Dun dun dun.
Which is a whole lot of tomfoolery.
Yeah.
Makes me wish maybe they could have extended it beyond 6 episodes.
Yeah. And this one does have the potential to go on further because you could have Loki just traveling through time forever.
Right.
I know.
Absolutely everything and anything. So it's really interesting how they're setting it up. And it's only episode 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so do we think it's Lady Loki, another Loki? Is it Kang or somebody else?
Maybe, yeah. It's Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Evil Steve.
It'd be funny if drops the cloak and it's Thor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like not only are they tying with Doctor Strange already, is what if they're tying in with the next Thor? Was it Love and Thunder?
Yep.
Because we know that they're going to have Jane
Right.
as Thor for a minute, Lady Thor. So what if they are trying to like tie it in there somehow?
Be cool.
And with
Yes, it
like
would.
Lady Loki and Lady Thor, who knows?
Yep.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Girls Gone Wild is a whole nother version here. They're burning down the timeline.
Yep. Well, you know how we thought about this episode. We'd like to know what you thought about it. So please send us your feedback. We want to hear those tinfoil hat theories. To contact us at the Fangirl Zone.
Please review and rate us on iTunes or any other platform you use for podcasts with good ratings and reviews. It helps other fans of the show find us, as there are plenty of other Marvel podcasts out there. Tell your friends, and I hope you're enjoying our podcast. And don't forget to check out the other great Fangirl Zone podcasts.
So don't forget to go over to www.fangirlzone.com. Check out our contacts page so you can message us, Twitter, Facebook. Oh, where are we? We're everywhere. Our emails, and we really look forward to hearing from you. And for this episode of the marvelous Post-Flip podcast, say that 5 times fast.
I'm Steve. What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
I'm Sean Fangirl S, and this is the finest Asgardian leather. Don't you dare.
Nice. And this is Mischievous Dave. And to honor our return, I have a poem. At times I found the episode a little bit pokey. I expected all things mischievous Loki. Not that it was a bore, we did get a reference to Thor, but in the future, or if I was him, I'd include a reference to a mewling Quim.
Oh.
There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.